WCW in front of over 15,000 people in Boston's Fleet Center opened with smoke filling the ring to bring out Hogan and NWO Hollywood, with 3 angles set for tonight in the build to the Hogan vs. Warrior match. Warrior kidnapped the NWO's disciple with Hogan calling him to finish what they started 8 years ago, as Warrior hyped a few surprises for later in the show. In the other main angle of the show, Scott Hall arrived to the building telling head of security Doug Dillinger that somebody wrecked his car while holding bottles of alcohol, with Hall scheduled for a main event tag match teaming with Stevie Ray against Nash and Luke. WCW opened the hype for the Goldberg vs. Dallas Page pay-per-view title match with a video package comparing each one's popularity in the spear against the cutter. Goldberg, after drawing huge numbers for his main events in the last month, with the show coming exactly on the 1-year anniversary of his TV debut in September 22, '97, didn't appear on the night, with the alleged reason being that the show took place on a Jewish holiday, with the company allegedly not wanting him working on the day after getting massive positive media coverage in the community across the country. Alex Wright walked to the ring a few seconds after 9 p.m. calling out Dallas Page for a match for Page's title shot, ending up with Page going over and cutting a promo to hype up the Goldberg title match at Halloween Havoc. Page brought up his history with Goldberg before WCW, with him trying to get Goldberg to the power plant for years before he did, saying how Goldberg was a natural and went straight to the top faster than anyone in history, while it took him years of hard work to get to this point in his career, telling Goldberg to not blink for a second as he's bringing everything he has. With Vince McMahon, Shamrock and Mankind already in the ring, Rock opened Raw 6 days from the Breakdown pay-per-view, with Taker and Kane also out by the entranceway. Vince again guaranteed that Austin will lose the title this Sunday, while also guaranteeing the 3 in the ring a big opportunity for next week, booking a tag match for tonight with Austin and whoever wants to join him against Kane and Austin, with him also booking a Rock vs. Shamrock vs. Mankind 3-way match to ensure that neither can join Austin, with the winner getting a title shot next Monday, with McMahon as guest ring announcer, closing the promo telling them that whoever they face next week, it surely won't be Austin, as Raw opened in the lead, starting with a 4 rating to 3.8. WCW had Cat vs. Lenny Lane in the second quarter, with Scott Hall coming out drunk mid-match calling out Nash, while at the same time Raw had Billy Gunn vs. Jeff Jarrett going 8 minutes. King and JR missed the Raw broadcast on a rare situation due to them being in LA filming a part on the Man on the Moon movie on the life of Andy Kaufman, leading to Sunday Night Heat announcer Shane McMahon along with filler Jim Cornette replacing them on the night. Raw also had an inside shot to the creative process of the company during a backstage segment, with head writers Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara shown going over scripts with Vince McMahon. Minutes later, Steve Austin came out for a promo at an unusual timing at 9:25, hyping the tag match for tonight along with the 3-way pay-per-view main event on Sunday. Next on Nitro was Saturn vs. Jerry Flynn going 6 minutes, with Scott Steiner and Buff Bagwell coming out for a promo moments later to hype the Scott vs. Rick match at Halloween Havoc, while also burying every sports team in Boston. Steiner then turned to Bret Hart asking where he stands either with NWO Hollywood or with Sting, calling him out to the ring to bring out Sting for the save. Bret Hart was also involved in one of the big talking points of the week in the industry with the release of the first copy of the Wrestling with Shadows documentary, which coincidentally ended up covering the most talked about match finish in history, giving unprecedented backstage access to the days prior and especially the day of the show in Montreal, leading to it being perhaps the most anticipated wrestling documentary of all time. Next on Raw saw the company bringing back the women's title with Jacqueline going over Sable to win the belt. The Austin and Mystery Partner against Undertaker and Kane tag match took place already at 9:50 in a rare Austin match during Raw's first hour. Austin was setting up for a handicap match before Billy Gunn came out to make it a tag match for his second match in the last hour, going 9 minutes with Taker and Kane going over and Austin laying them out with chair shots moments later. The match coming at an unexpected time slot 10 minutes from the top of the hour with an unusual formatting of the show, so Raw jumped big with over 1.4 million viewers to a 5.1 rating, the highest rated segment of the night on both programs. WCW had an angle throughout the show to set up a Kidman vs. Disco Cruiserweight title match, with Disco having 2 hours to lose the weight to make the 225 pounds limit, with the match opening the third hour going 11 minutes with Kidman retaining to bump WCW over 500,000 viewers to a 3.7 rating. With Raw having its big star power match ending just when the second hour started, the usually strong top of the hour segment dropped from a 5.1 to 4 rating, with Raw taking 2 commercial breaks with a DOA vs. Southern Justice tag match in the middle along with a Vince backstage promo. WCW had 2 unusually long back-to-back matches with Conan vs. Chavo also going 11 minutes, while Raw jumped 300,000 viewers back to a 4.2 rating, having Al Snow vs. Slaughter in a boot camp match, a Rock backstage promo hyping the main event and setting the stage for a future WWF title reign, along with a strong heat angle with Val and Dustin. WCW's most talked about segment of the night came at 10:30 p.m. with Eric Bischoff coming out for the follow-up response on last week's Ric Flair return promo. Eric started by looking around over 15,000 people at the Fleet Center in Boston saying how he built the empire nobody thought was possible, comparing it to previous WCW regimes with the Horsemen who couldn't fill half a building. Bischoff said that while Flair has a contract and is able to show up on TV, he will never wrestle again in his company, bringing out Flair and the Horsemen. With Flair and Bischoff in the ring face-to-face for the first time since the legal issues, the segment took the combination of work and shoot to the next level, with both going back and forth in an unscripted shoot confrontation on everything that happened in the last few months and years. Eric challenged Flair to hit him with Flair saying that the only reason he's not picking up his teeth is because he doesn't have another $2 million to throw on lawsuits, before bringing up the incident that started it in April with Flair no-showing Thunder. Flair said how on his proudest day with his son winning a national wrestling tournament, he had to hear from a neighbor the next day how Flair was fired from the company by Bischoff. Eric then taunted Flair asking if he saved his money, as Flair responded that he made his money by headlining and selling out arenas every night while Eric is sitting on a big contract living off the business they created. Personal shots continued with one of the biggest topics of conversation in the business over the last 20 years with the Hogan vs. Flair debate, as Flair brought up how he was the one who introduced Hogan to Bischoff because Eric was a nobody at the time, with Bischoff responding that Flair wanted Hogan in the company to try to rise up to his status as the biggest star of all time, as Flair shot back that while Hogan was out of the building early drinking his first beer, he was taking his first breath just getting started in the ring. The near 20-minute segment saw WCW take the lead for the first time on the night, gaining over 1 million viewers to a peak 4.2 rating. WCW's main event tag match saw Giant replacing Scott Hall to team with Stevie Ray against Nash and Luger, with Hall coming out on commentary wanting to fight Nash and end the match a few minutes in. Nash tried to get Hall out of the ring before taking the microphone saying that he lost his best friend as he doesn't know who Scott is anymore, as Hall responded that he lost everything he ever had, ending up with Nash challenging him to the Havoc pay-per-view, with the segment keeping WCW in the lead maintaining a 4.2 rating. Raw, who had a big turnover of viewers to WCW during the Flair-Bischoff segment in the 7th quarter, took 2 commercial breaks and still didn't recover in the last 30 minutes, with the final quarter having Mankind's promo hyping the main event along with the entrances and the first few minutes of the match. Hogan and Bischoff came out at 11:03 p.m. for the final segment in the overrun, calling out Warrior again, ending up with him coming up with Hogan's disciple revealing a OWN jacket to close the show, while at the same time the Rock, Shamrock and Mankind three-way match continued on Raw, going 12 minutes picking up over 400,000 viewers back, as the match ended with no winner, with Taker and Kane attacking all three for the finish and Austin attacking McMahon in the go-home segment for the Breakdown pay-per-view. With heavier sports competition, both shows were down on the night, with Raw winning by a close 4 to 3.9 rating margin, winning its first head-to-head week since August 3.